It's beyond awkward, really embarrassing. What to make of it all? When I read that at 4 a.m, I thought that must be a stunt. It's clear now that it wasn't. You just can imagine the producers sitting there in the gallery thinking, what on earth do we do with this? Film critic Van Connor was watching for TalkSpoke. He hosts the podcast Offscreen. He's with me now. Morning, Van. Well, the Oscars are back, aren't they? What did you make of it when you were watching?
Well, when they said they wanted to appeal to younger demographics, manufacturing their own viral content was not something that anyone saw coming. Will Smith we kind of knew going into this evening, this was a two-horse race for Best Actor. It was between Benedict Cumberbatch and Will Smith. And there was about, maybe 20 to 25 minutes after this incident in which we all sat there thinking, are they actually still going to go through with it and give Smith the award, which seemed like 50% likely, or are they going to Russell Crowe him out of this, which of course happened 20 years ago when Russell Crowe, due to controversy, went from being the favorite winning Best Actor to stepping aside for Denzel to take it. Ironically enough, one of the other nominees this year, and someone who is credited as sort of talking down Will Smith during it all.
What did you make of it? I mean, I thought it was a stunt at first. I thought that's not real. Were you having the same thoughts when the slap or the punch landed on Chris Rock's chin?
I thought it was a bit, because it just seems like something that would never, ever happen. I honestly thought it was a bit. I was texting friends saying, did that just happen? And we were all, for about 5 solid minutes, in complete disbelief. We had no idea what was going on. We thought it was a bit. We thought, and there was a gag. Someone on Twitter had claimed, a comedy writer on Twitter had claimed that they had written it as a deep cut joke about toxic masculinity, etc. And it didn't quite fly. It got shot down very quickly. You kept expecting that there had to be some punchline to it. No pun intended.
No, but there wasn't. There was no punchline.
It didn't come. No.
What do you think will happen?
There was a slap line.
Will this just go away? Will they be meeting later at the Academy and saying, well, never mind, it was a great moment, viral moment, and everyone's talking about the ceremony? Or will they? Is there even a thought that they might take his Oscar away? I mean, anything could happen here. If this was in the UK, the police would probably be involved.
It's entirely possible. I mean, it's worth noting that Jarvis Cocker, I don't think, was ever charged for doing that to Michael, doing something similar along those lines to Michael Jackson during the Brits in the mid-90s. But they allegedly were set to hash this out, at a party after the event. Sean Combs, better known probably to you and I as Puff Daddy, is evidently brokering this piece. I think they're both supposed to go to the Vanity Fair party afterwards, as is kind of the tradition. All the nominees generally tend to go to the Vanity Fair parties afterwards and mingle and do sort of extended press bits and take their photo shoots, etc. I think the expectation is that they will be hashing this out either during or before that. Probably will have happened by now.
Or it could all kick off at the party. The buffet could be flying. Goodness me. The other moment, no one's talking about the movies because Jason Momoa also decided to burp before he announced Best Sound. You couldn't write that, could you? What was that all about?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, if you remember, last year's ceremony was a really stripped down thing. It was just a bunch of actors in what was effectively an overdressed conference room in Union Station in LA, compared to what it is this year, which is more of a return to normal. I was thinking this all the way through, that there were so many moving parts that just did not fit together, and you couldn't help but think that it had sort of an effect. Do you remember after we came out of lockdown, when you started getting together with your friends for the first few times, you had to kind of acclimatize to what it was like to being back in society. It kind of felt like that was going on with the Oscars tonight. You had all this fanfare that was very patronizing and aimed at appealing to younger audiences. And you had things like the ridiculous listicle segments, and then the nominees for a Twitter poll. I mean, it was only minorly less patronizing than a listicle that genuinely tried to claim that the Justice League's Flash entering the Speed Force moment was a more groundbreaking moment of cinema than Bullet Time.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullet Time from The Matrix. And then you got to the fact that we were cheering on Zack Snyder movies at the Oscars. Then you had the weirdly upbeat musical number that seemed to be added onto the In Memoriam segment. Honestly, if the thing came up with hashtags across the screen at all times and its own on-display TikTok videos.
Thank you very much, Van. We'll leave it there. Van Connor, film critic. No one's talking about the movies. Everyone's talking about Will Smith, and that moment you'll see it all over everywhere. Later, 16 minutes to 8.